Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we are going to analyze Quant and its token QNT, conduct machine learning based price forecast, regression analysis, and accumulation strategies based on risk levels. None of the content is financial advice. Let's get started. The reason that we are talking about Quant today is over the last 24 hours, 7 days, and in the last 30 days, Quant has been rallying, which is kind of counter to the wider crypto market downturn. You can see most of the cryptos are down over here since the last 24 hours and the last 7 days. You can check that out on our website cryptoweeklies.com, the link on the bottom of your screen. In terms of how the market is doing with respect to the heat map, you can use the heat maps to analyze the performance. Again, over the last 24 hours or so, the couple of tokens which are doing decently are Litecoin, Immutable X, and Dot. Whereas over the last 7 days, only Maker has been making some strides up, and then Phantom and new token Sonic. Over the last 30 days, again, Maker taking a healthy lead. Over the last 90 days, XMR, XRP, and Litecoin are doing decently. Over here today, we are discussing about Quant due to its latest price rally. And we have covered Quant at great length over the course of the bear market as well. You can check the other videos on the channel as well. Right now, the price of Quant is coming in at around $100. This token has been around for a while. Currently ranked number 61st by market cap. Market cap at around 1.2 billion, circulating supply to the max supply ratio in a decent health. Again, more than 80% of the max supply is in circulation. You can check it out over here. In terms of percentage, 81.1% of the max supply in circulation. So going forward, if there is any rally, the gains in the market cap should get reflected in the price. Again, none of the content is financial advice. Again, this is just use of historical data and analysis to do a correlation between price chart over here and market cap chart over here, essentially one and the same. So that means any growth in market cap getting reflected back in price, thanks to its decent tokenomics of having more than 80% of the total supply in circulation and max supply also in circulation. In terms of now where this machine learning model developed on weekly price action of Quant since the token launched in about late 2018, has been around for a while. If you look at its price over here, and this is on linear scale and this is on logarithmic scale, we do use the logarithmic scale to identify the valuation zones, as well as take into consideration that going forward, as the market cap matures, any moves in the price would be muted compared to the moves that it made when the market cap was significantly lower. Now that we have covered this, again, the machine learning model trend on weekly price action reflects three scenarios. First is the base case for Quant. Again, that is all things equal. The pink line provides the directionality of the price in a neutral stance. Again, if all things are equal, price has a higher likelihood for this model to go up with time than down with time. The one standard deviation bull case for that is non-Euphoria or 68th percentile bull case for Quant is price action between $106 and $197 between the next 6 months. So almost a 2x from here without any blow off top scenario in the market. Whereas if there is a euphoria phase in the market, the two standard deviation ceiling or 95 percentile confidence level forecast for Quant in the next 6 months are between $116 and $307, and you can see week by week ceilings either on the graphical view or in the tabular format over here. The 68th percentile is the yellow line, the 95 percentile bull case is this orange line, and the blow off top scenario at 99.7 percentile is the red line, which again is kind of right now out of the scope of this analysis. Again, we are somewhere between the base case or in the pink line and the bull case in the yellow line. So for example, for the week ending in March, on March 2, the one standard deviation ceiling is $106. The two standard deviation ceiling for the weekly average price is $116. So again, we are between the pink line and yellow line in terms of the weekly average price. If there is a further downside for Quant, the one standard deviation or the 68th percentile non-panic bottom for Quant, that is again, if the crash in the market is just run of the mill or regular market dump, then the price could be between $60 and $88 to the downside. The purpose of these forecasts is not to tell if the price has to go up or down with time, but identify the directionality using this base case or the pink line, and also in all scenarios identify what could be a theoretical ceiling in a bull case with that non-euphoria bias, and in the bear case with that non-panic bias, that is the likely 70 percentile price action bandwidth for the next 6 months. That is one purpose of this analysis. The second being, again, if there is a euphoria case, what is the theoretical ceiling with this phase of the market cycle, and analyzing the market cycle phase based on the last 4 years worth of market cycle price action. So now that we have covered the machine learning based price forecast, the regression analysis of Quant points to this polynomial regression based, this similar color codes we have used everywhere on the website. Again, all things are developed in-house and for free. You don't have to pay or sign up for anything. So this polynomial regression model helps identify the fair value for Quant within a non-linear fashion. By that I mean the fair value goes up with time in the bull market and down with time in the bear market, because we don't know if a token has how much upside or downside a particular token has. We keep that neutrally, and per this fair value analysis right now, the based on the regression model, fair value is coming in at around $91. That means Quant is slightly overvalued. Again, not too alarming at this phase of the market cycle. You can see in the post halving years, especially like in 2021, the price did not just only go above the pink line, but if you apply the 1 standard deviation residual, which is this yellow line, again color scheme being consistent across all analysis, and the 2 standard deviation ceiling, that's where the major tops occur. The 2 standard deviation ceiling for Quant is right now at around $271. The euphoria phase ends at around the euphoria phase begins at around $157 if the price were to go at that level, and ends at around $271 at this point. But you can see that there was a decline in the fair value up until about September 2024, and there is now a slight incline from that $83 level now to at around about $91, and equally on reflected on the 2 standard deviation ceilings and the 1 standard deviation ceiling. So that's where the most likely targets to the upside are. If there is a further correction in the market, the first level to see is if Quant could hold that $91 level, which is close to the fair value, and if there is even further downside, the 1 standard deviation bottom, which Quant barely hit since 2022, has not visited that. One visit was at around August of 2024. That 1 standard deviation bottom is coming in at around $52, and coincidentally the AI model also thinks that if there is a bear market, the 1 standard deviation bear case is less, is priced at around $60. So again, this is a more conservative estimate of what the downside could look like, at around $53, whereas the machine learning model says that at around $60. Similarly, the 1 standard deviation bull case per hour model was at around $200, whereas this is a more conservative estimate at this point in time at around $157. But if you extend this yellow line to 6 more months, that valuation at that point in time could be at around somewhere between $175 and $200. So that is the first target for Quant in a recovery. If the wider crypto market is in a recovery phase. Right now you can see the wider crypto market, again the risk levels have cooled off quite a bit, about 37% risk or 37% completion of the bull market. Again, as a composite analysis of all the major cryptos in the market, this analysis takes into consideration the risk on the y-axis and the time on the x-axis, and per this model, again the risks from December at one point were at 60% or high risk environment. Now they have gone to this low risk territory after visiting this moderate risk for the entirety of December and January of 2025. Now we are in again risk level less than 40%. So this analysis aside, again if we look at the overall social sentiment in the market over the last 24 hours or so, has been a lot of bearish narratives over here and some neutral, but again you can see the size of the bearish narratives is kind of alarming with respect to the latest news. Again, all of this content available on cryptoweeklies.com. The peak value model that we just saw, the one before that, the bull market completion, is available under this analytics under peak value, and the crypto TLDR uh, presents the current news over the last 24 hours, what has happened in the crypto market, highlights those titles and classifies them into the bearish, bullish or neutral news, as well as provides an overall sentiment score in the market. Again, the higher the score, the more the bullishness, again also color coded. Kind of in the middle we are after this major dump that occurred, and on top of that we also have this narrative word cloud, which helps understand what are the popular narratives in the market, which narratives are gaining traction over the last 7 days, and there again then the relative size determines the popularity on the social media platforms such as YouTube and X, how these narratives are shaping the price action as well. Again, although there was a crash in the market, the overall sentiment is still at least based on the narratives is still bullish. Again, the new content related or the news cycle related to the Bybit hack also featured on this analysis. So it's one single snapshot of what is happening in the market. Also if a relative analysis of if Bitcoin has more popularity or some alts are running the show. Again, you can see that Bitcoin meme coins, again meme coins are in the news for the wrong reason. I believe right now there have been a lot of scams that got exposed over the last 7 days. That's why these narratives are popping up. Again, there are some bearish narratives also over here, but the relative size of the bearish narratives is relatively small compared to the size of the bullish narratives. That means more market participants are feeling bullish than bearish. Again, there have been some narratives with higher cap cryptos such as Ethereum as well as Cardano, Hedera, and in general the $1 billion hack. Those are some of the recent news. Again, the size of altcoin related narrative is relatively small over here. That means most of the attention is garnered by Bitcoin at this point in time in terms of the social sentiment. Now that we covered the machine learning price and the regression based valuation for Quant, we can spend some time in analysis and analyzing the risk levels with respect to the simple moving average as well as the regression based analysis. The simple moving average, the 20-week simple moving average based risk color coded with price, says that right now with the $107 price represents a risk level of about less than 30%. Again, if the utility of this analysis to identify first when it's the best time to DCA, again using SMA as a guideline, you can see that if the hypothesis is only to DCA when the risks are less than 20%, you're essentially avoiding DCAing whenever the market has began to lift or take off to a valuation where, again, in the shorter term, although there might be some decent opportunities DCAing over here, but in the longer term, after the market cool off, again, if you change your hypothesis to 30% only DCA when the risk is less than 30%, you can see that you are essentially avoiding the major moves where the market is throwing a local top, and just avoiding DCing at those point in time helps again to protect some of the price, the average price, and also establish a lower average for the DCA. So this model again says that at 30% risk, price at 30% risk, if the price were to go to 60% risk, that point the price could be at around $270. That is the guidance for the next 6 months for Quant, between $271 and $330. That's the higher end of the risk. If the token were to peak in the next 6 months, that could be the theoretical ceiling per this model. On the other hand, if there is a if there is a second model that we have, if there is a regression based estimation of the risk levels, again, instead of looking at 20-week moving average as the sole indicator. We look at the regression based fair value that we just discussed at a weekly level, and based on how the price is doing with respect to this line in a time adjusted and volatility adjusted manner, the risk levels and the color codes are assigned. Right now the risk levels are with accumulation are at around 22%, so the higher end of the second best time to DCA per this model. In terms of the color codes, you can see that this analysis helps identify when it's the if the hypothesis is only to DCA less than 20% risk, helps avoid some of the local tops. Also, if you go further down the risk, you'll and say that only to DCA when the risk is less than 10%, this model would have helped identify these stronger accumulation phases. Again, just before the token has a parabolic bull run top in the last bull market, as well as the best accumulation point in the bear market of 2022, and the November 2024 bottom at around $56. All of these were identified by the model. Again, this is not some retroactively fitted model, this is a live model. And if we use this model as a guideline of where the prices could be at some of the risk levels, so at 50% risk, this model says that price action between $150 and $225 is likely the moderate risk based target between 50 and 80% risk, and anything above 225 and between 77, that's the high risk. So SMA model says that target between 270 and $330, whereas this DCA model is a more conservative version which says that between 150 and 225. That's the guideline per the model for Quant's price in the next 6 months. Whereas the time weighted average price model, this does a phenomenal job of identifying the accumulation phase in the bear market. Again, the blue line, which represents the time weighted average price, helps identify the risk levels in accumulation based on how much the price has deflected from the time weighted average price. If the deflection is severe, the time weighted average price also moves along with it, but the risk levels are identified as high risk when the deflection is the most. Whereas whenever the price is below the blue line, that's typically the great accumulation period that, for example, lasted between July 2024 as late as July 2024 and November 2024. Also identified the 2022 bottom, and now this model says that the risk levels are at around 34%. Again, this model did identify the tops as well at the close price of about $380 or so. At that point, the risk levels identified by this model were around between 98% and 100%. Right now, even in December 2024 rally, the risk identified were at around 60% when this token rallied to about $170. So as a composite of all the models, what we have is an estimated bull run target for Quant available under the risk reward based analysis. This is not a machine learning based estimation, but risk based estimation of what price could do based on the three risks. Weighted risk is at around 25%, so almost 1/4 risk and 3/4 reward per this analysis, and estimated bull run peak at around $420 for Quant, representing about a 4x from the current price of about 107. And with that, I would like to conclude by saying first levels to watch is, again, if the price were to go to that $170 and then from there to about $260 with respect to the regression based valuation or regression based analysis for Quant. And then as a confluence between that and the 1 standard deviation ceiling coming in at around $197, that could be a key level to watch for. Again, over here the start at around 157 and then the second level at around 270. So those are the levels to watch for the upside, and the downside first the $91 and then between $60 and $88. And with that, I would like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.